Good morning, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. In the middle of the night as I'm sleeping, I often think about what feels like self-care. And so that's when I'll decide to sleep in or get up early. And this morning before dawn, I decided in my half awake brain that self-care felt like sleeping in this morning. So I slept in a little this morning and I'm sort of just having my coffee and waking up. So thanks for having coffee with me, first of all. Today is my last real day with my book. I'm trying to be finished with the last read through and final edits today. I have tomorrow morning too, but I'm trying to be finished today. So I'm feeling super, super weepy about putting my baby out into the world. And there's all this stuff coming up about it having to be perfect. Whereas usually when I put stuff out into the world, I'm like, well, it will evolve. But when you're handing a book over to the person who's going to publish it, it doesn't get to evolve anymore. It has to stop. And that's a very new concept for me. So that's what I'm doing this morning. But I wanted to jump in and have coffee with you. So tell me in the comments what you're drinking. It's only 9:10. You people can't be done with your coffee yet. Or some of you maybe drink tea or healthier things. I do also have water, so I am hydrating. But anyway, say hi in the comments as you jump in. And today I wanted to talk about something that I see all the time because I work with a lot of women who are healers in some capacity or who do work that people really need, do transformational work, offer support services, a fourth cup of black coffee. Yeah. Women who who offer transformational services, women who offer things that people really need. And there's and that comes from this healer persona, right? It comes from a part of you that is deeply called to heal in the world. It comes from a part of you often where you know the struggle that you're supporting other people in stopping. And so there's a real sense of empathy, and understanding and seeing and feeling your people. You're also, a lot of you are empaths, as my best boo, Jen Moore of the Empathic Mastery System, she teaches all about how to go from hot mess to thriving in her book, Empathic Mastery, which you can find on Amazon. But, a lot of you are also empaths. So this sort of bites you in the ass when it comes to pricing, when it comes to asking for compensation, when it comes for not necessarily valuing what you do, because it's not like you don't value what you do. It's that you don't want to price anyone out. You don't want to make your services not available to people who need it. You don't want to appear greedy. There's this whole thing for women around how we're supposed to give our love and our nurturing. And sometimes that gets convoluted or corrupted in our brain around our work. And a lot of women that I work with are either tempted or called to give their work away for free or to keep their prices very low so that they can be of service, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. However, it gets, what's the word? Sorry, I'm losing my words. It gets corrupted when you don't actually have your oxygen mask on. So that income you can't really afford to lose. And what happens is you keep giving away pieces of yourself and pieces of yourself. It's like that book, The Giving Tree, which was one of the most twisted books I ever read in my childhood. I don't understand. I saw they did this funny, not funny, but better version of it where the Giving Tree is fuck you, I have boundaries, don't be an asshole. But it gets to this point where you give away so much that you can't afford to have what you need. And that means that ultimately you're not going to be able to afford to do your work either. And I'm going to give you a quick example. When I started In Arms coaching, I was working with women who were really in a shitty spot. They were super depleted. They were exhausted. They were overwhelmed. They were burned out. They weren't comfortable. And they came to me for help. And because I have a long background in working with women who need support, and that's where my heart is, I really wanted to be able to work with any woman at any point for any rate, whether she could afford me or not. And at that point, this was back in the day where I was still struggling to make In Arms coaching a viable business. I was still on food stamps. I still couldn't afford all the groceries I put in my cart every week. I was solo parenting with no child support. I was working my ass off developing in arms coaching and working at night and taking care of my toddler. And I would give my work away for really, really cheap because I wanted everyone to be able to afford it. And sometimes I would give my work away for free. And at one point, my coach said, you have to stop this. In order to be able to serve other people, your oxygen mask has to be on first. And your oxygen mask is not on right now. So what will happen is that at some point, you're going to become your client again, and you're going to burn out, and you're not going to be able to support these people. And here's the beauty, is that really in service? And I realized it wasn't, of course, but I still wanted a way to be able to help women with my business. And Joanna reminded me that when I got my oxygen mask on financially, when I could afford to support myself and my kid, as I started building and sustaining wealth, I would be so much more powerful in terms of helping the people that I care about. So I think she made a deal with me. It was something like for every 3 full price clients that I enrolled, I could offer a scholarship position. Or like for every group that I ran, I could offer 2 scholarship spots or something like that. So there was a boundary around it. And it was really important for me because I needed to know that women who needed help could get help. But I also really understood that I needed to get out of the situation that I was in. It was not sustainable for me at all. I had to be able to make my own money. I had to make in-arms coaching work. And it wasn't going to work if I kept depleting myself and giving from an empty cup or giving from a quarter full cup that was quickly emptying. And that really helped me to understand that wealth is like, this amazing fucking thing because it makes you so powerful in the causes that you're fighting for and against. And like part of in-arms coaching turning to business coaching was that I want all of the women that I work with to be wealthy as fuck. I want us to hold the purse strings. I want us to have the power in the world because it will be a very different world when the women that I work with are the wealthiest ones on the planet. It will be a very different fucking world. And that's the world I want my kid to go out into when she leaves in a few years. So it became really exciting for me because I was so good at helping women get seen, create an impact, build financial success with their work. That became a really exciting part. I'm contributing to women being able to, hold the purse strings and be independently wealthy and fund their own things, There was a woman in our neighborhood during the campaigns, the political campaigns. She had like a giant Biden Black Lives Matter sign up in her yard and it got vandalized one night. And so she put up a frigging billboard that she made with paint and wood. And she wrote, I'm going to keep putting up Biden and Black Lives signs matter in my yard. Every single time one is vandalized, I'm donating $25 to Planned Parenthood and like $25 to like the Black Lives Matter campaign or something like that. And I was like, oh, and then she did one of those like thermometer things where she kept showing how much money she was donating. And I was like, that is amazing. And like, that's a great thing to do with money. That's amazing. That's freaking amazing. So for a couple of years there, when I was really struggling with my concept of wealth, and I said this in a video a few days ago, I made, and this might have been a Joanna assignment actually, I made a list of all the women who were like wealthy as fuck that I wanted to emulate, that I looked up to, the Glennon Doyles of the world, the Ellens and Oprah more specifically, where she's just like, everyone in the audience gets a car, or like, we just bought this family a home. I want to be that wealthy. And I want all of the women that I work with to be that wealthy. And the path to that is, first of all, healthy boundaries, because you can't create and sustain wealth without healthy boundaries. It's understanding the value of what you offer. It's removing any bullshit conceptions from your head that people can't or won't pay for it. Your job is to articulate why they need to pay for it. Most people can afford more than we give them credit for. Like, think about how many people buy Starbucks every day. It's like a $6 cup of coffee or something. Your job is to create the thing that you do. Your job is to get the support that you need in building a business out of it that's viable, sustainable, and evolving. Your job is to get the support that you need to articulate the value of what you do to the people who need it and help them to say yes. And then your job is to show up and do that thing. And then be amazing with that money that flows in. And then create charitable donations, create foundations, create nonprofits. If In Arms Coaching weren't successful, I would not have been able to create Pity Posse. Pity Posse was birthed from the oxygen mask that I created of In Arms Coaching. And it's amazing. Like, it's incredible how much Pity Posse has served the community so far. And I have other nonprofits in my brain. And, we do amazing things with our money. We get to do amazing things with our money. So really focusing on identifying and coming to terms with inner conflict around charging, inner conflict around your right to ask for a healthy rate for the work you do. It's just really, really important if you want to be able to sustain the work you do and do even better work. So I'd love to hear your comments. It's a little earlier than I generally do my videos. So #replay if you're watching the replay, and that will help me find it and respond to you. And if you're watching this via Sacred Biz Rebels, you can also share it from the Britt Bolnick public page or from the YouTube page, and you can tag women. So I really appreciate help in getting this out to more women. This is a huge problem that I see many entrepreneurs and women business owners struggling with, and I want to nip it. It's got to stop. It's time to stop. It's time for us to hold the purse strings. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.